Wandering through old Prescot lanes, medieval tales within the veins, ghosts of Shakespeare in the air, timeless stories told with care. History lives in every street, echoes where past and present meet. Prescot town's treasure found, ancient magic all around. Cobblestones and market squares, fabled charm beyond compare. Boundaries of a town
Right.
so grand.
Can you see me, Mother? Getting up that brew. Still takes it out of you. It did do when I was younger, but it does these days. Anyway, welcome back to another vlog. Hope you're doing well. Before we start, I'd just like to show you this. You see that? Might be out of focus too close. Anyway, I was that person who became a member of the Time team, and I've got a membership card somewhere, and all the brochures that they send us, I've got them. I used to follow them, and that's what first got me interested in history and archaeology and stuff like that. And a few years ago, myself and Catherine had the opportunity to meet Tony Robinson in Liverpool, and I'll flash a photograph of that up, which was great. This vlog is all about the Great Walls of China. Sorry, the Great Walls of Prescot. Easy mistake to make. So the Great Walls of Prescot, and we're going to start. It's a town walk. It's a idle ramble on a lovely sunny afternoon, early evening around Prescot. Idling. Nothing's planned as such, but I've got a few notes just to jog me memory. I'm starting here at the north east end of St Mary's Church. It's called the Northern Chantery, this is, and it was built in, well, this is the only part that survives from the earlier church. Most of this church dates from around 1610, apart from the tower, which was 1720s, because it got struck by lightning and had to be rebuilt. This bit, however, dates from 1410, so that's 200 years before the rest of the church was built. If William Shakespeare did visit Prescot, he would have recognised this bit of the church, this old wall here, this old sandstone wall, red sandstone. Mostly red sandstone, some of it's yellow sandstone. So this is the oldest part of the church, so this is where we're going to start off. So we're going to look at some of the historic walls of Prescot, some of the oldest walls that are around here. These walls are often forgotten. Now, I heard somebody, because they had an open day in the church here, and somebody went into the church and said, this must be the oldest part of Prescot. This must be the oldest building in Prescot. But actually, what I've discovered through research is it's not. And we have a hidden treasure in Prescot, and they are the old walls of Prescot. So I'm going to, as we go around, I'm going to explain a bit of the history of these walls and tell you what we actually know about them. We don't know everything about them. A lot of more research needs to happen. But hopefully by the end of this vlog, you'll know a bit more about it than most people if you watch this video. So come with me now, and we'll go on an historic walled trip around Prescot. So follow me.
Boundaries of a town so grand, Shakespeare's whisper in the sand. History lives in every street.
So you can see here some historic walls. These are interesting in their own right, but the ones down here further on down are far more interesting. These sandstone blocks date from around the 17th century, possibly. We don't know too much about them at the moment. I want to draw your attention to this area here, and we're all familiar with this area and these walls on either side. Like it's like an alleyway, isn't it? It's medieval alleyway. If I tell you that these walls are not of the same age, I just stop here. This wall here is with bits falling off it, by the way. This wall here is at least 300 years older than that one on that side. So you're talking about 14th century here, 1300s, that this wall on this side dates from. This was an ancient pathway to an area known as the Wood, and it wouldn't have been enclosed like this. It would have been fields on that side, one single wall enclosing this area here, which was actually part of the priest's coat, the ancient monastic cell of Prescot. So this area was blocked off for the church and stuff like that, and the townspeople could come along the lane here, gathering the wood and coals from the woods here. All this would have been woodland, so this would have been leading down to the wood. So there would not have been walls on both sides. This wall on this side is about early 1700s, possibly. You will see that it's the top of the wall is different than this side. If you look on this side, you see the top of the wall is topped off differently than it is on that side, and that's why we know it's older. Now, the entire length of these walls is about 354 feet going down that way. On this side of the wall is slightly higher than that side, so this is about a foot higher, and I'll put the dimensions on about that. And if you compare them, you can see that they are obviously different, and they've been treated in different ways, and this in the past has been rendered to stop it falling down. Sandstone blocks are a mixture of red sandstone and a pale yellow sandstone, so that indicates that it comes from a different place. It's mined in a different place, but still probably local, and it really gives you a feel of the history. We don't know what this doorway is for here, but that is now part of the grounds of the Catholic thing that it's been bricked up, but there's some ornate carvings that you can still see in the doorway there, and along here it's been well dressed at one time. So yeah, so this is about 13 foot high at this point, and this is about 11 foot at this point. Again, another doorway. This is considerably older, this side of the wall, if you remember that. In places it has been repaired and bricks have been put in where the wall has decayed a bit. So you can see it's been topped by bricks there. They're more likely to be 1800s, and bricks would have been put there. So there's another doorway there, as you can see. Another doorway here. So I'll take you around here. These walls here represent part of what's become known as the gate feature. This is the gate feature. It's also known as a folly. The truth is, we don't know anything about this. We know, for instance, that it's not as old as that wall that we just came down there. This wall it butts onto is much older. That wall there, this is of newer brick, and it's been built at a later date, but we don't know when it was built, and it needs further investigation really about what this is. I've got a drawing that was done in the early 1800s that shows this feature with like a castle turret on the end here. So that's been knocked down, and that might have been somebody in the 1700s may have wanted to turn it into a kind of folly, but in a map of 1848 it's actually described as a ruin, which indicates that it could be part of an ancient ruined building. We don't know. We need the time team to have a look at it. Perhaps Tony Robinson could come down and give it a once over. But he's not an archaeologist, of course not. Yeah. It would cost us. But it is an interesting feature in its own right, and it's always intrigued me as to what it is. We still don't know. Now, the thing about these walls, these old walls, is, as far as I'm aware, there's no protection order on them. So they're not protected. They should be part of a scheduled monument. They should be scheduled and listed as ancient monuments, but they're not. They do come under the Prescot Conservation Zone area, but there's no actual protection on them. So they can be knocked down. And they can literally be knocked down. Not that I'd advocate anybody knocking them down, but I think they add greatly to the character of Prescot, and it's what makes Prescot unique, is these magnificent walls. So we're going to carry on down here, and this wall, there would have been a wall continuing all the way down there, here, which all this overgrown area, and I think that wall has now disappeared for what looks like fencing at the back here. So this area here, where this wall comes down, represents an ancient boundary line. So this was the ancient boundary of Prescot, one of the lines that could go back to the 14th century. Now I'm talking about 1300s, much older than the present church. And these walls, a lot of these walls are actually older than the parish church. I would call them A-listed walls. In any other town or city, they would be scheduled as ancient monuments. So it's a lovely sunny day, idling your time away walking around Prescot. There was a Puritan priest who he wrote a diary from Wigan, he was, and he told of the time that he came to Prescot for an idle afternoon on a Wednesday.
Wednesday today?
It is Wednesday today, and that's the point, because for the Puritans, the idea of being idle was a sin. It was a sin to just walk around doing vlogging or stuff like that. Now, before I go anywhere, I want to show you these walls here. These walls here. All around here, I'm not going to go down there, but that'll be for another vlog. But these walls, they've been replaced many times in the past, so they're not the original. Some of them are original, but that protected what is known as the old Prescot in Prescot. Prescot was on old maps was in about this area, possibly over there, and that was the wall that goes round and protects that area. So that was an ancient Prescot. That's where Prescot gets its name from. So if we're talking about the ancient boundary line, it would go down here and it would follow this course here, going down there.
Echoes where past and present meet. Prescot town's treasure found. Ancient magic all around. Time moves slow, but memories hold. Stories worth their weight in gold. Walk this town where legends grow. Centuries of tales bestowed.
So back in the day, I'm on Manchester Road now. So back in the day, before the churchyard was here, because it wasn't always here, very early on when the church was built in say 1410, all the burials would be around the church at the top. This would be a field, and it would be ploughed as a field, as a medieval field, and these walls going down here represent the field boundaries. You'll see here very pale sandstone, yellow sandstone, and there are red sandstone here as well. So a mixture of stone from various quarries have been used to build these walls.
Ancient signs that disarm. Prescot breathes with life anew. Every corner has a view.
So here, you see this wall going along here. This represents another boundary wall going down there. Ancient boundary wall. It's like a fossil. These are like fossils in the landscape, captured in time from a very early Prescot when the town was just developing. So that it's really important to have them, and in many ways they're more significant than the church itself, because this actually indicates the way people were living and the way they were developing the landscape around the church and using it for agriculture and containing animals and marking their own areas of cultivation and feed development of the land. Again, ancient sandstone blocks, mixture of sizes, a lot of pale yellows here, some dark red sandstone, pale yellow, and you can see here old fossil of old Prescot. Now when we get to this point here, it does change, because it becomes cladded here. So this area here represents a different time than this area. This we've got brick infill into there. And as we go on here, we will see where the cladding has come away. Bricks, possibly 19th century, topped with sandstone topping, and it's stepped up as well, which is really interesting. It's in a poor state of preservation, this wall. It's leaning, which it's got things growing out of it, which could, if it's left, means that the wall will collapse, which is something we don't want really. We need them preserved and looked after. You can see here, cheap breeze block to cover part of the wall that's been basically collapsed. And if we go like that, we're going to lose the walls altogether. It's not a way to preserve them and renovate them. All covered with ivy is not a good thing, because that undermines the structures of the walls as well. The roots get into the brickwork and they make it brittle. Even pulling that stuff off could actually cause the wall underneath to collapse. I'll just show you this bit here. This bit here was once an opening under the churchyard there, and remember in the last vlog I talked about Butcher's Nook. Well, Butcher's Nook actually exists beyond that wall. That was filled in again, possibly mid 1900s, and it was bricked up basically and became part of the churchyard. The original Prescot C of E school was here. You can see a post up there that was an entrance post to the school, but that would have been the entrance to Butcher's Nook, where I said that archaeology could be quite interesting over that side of the wall. But it would mean digging up the graveyard, and I don't think the vicar would be happy with that in some respects. I don't think, you know. Anyway, let's go up the Brew now. We'll go up the Brew.
Frames and rustic charm, ancient signs that disarm.
Okay. You ready for the climb up Mill Street? Yeah. Up the Brew.
Give it a go.
The highest point of Prescot. Come on. Okay. Okay, we're here, the highest point, and this wall here it's always puzzled me what this wall it's very high. It's a very high wall, goes down there. But it's a mixture of things. There's a lot of different colours of sandstone, and there are different shapes and sizes. Yellow sandstone, red sandstone. You see it's all over Prescot, these ancient walls. You're looking at possibly 15th to 14th century for this. It could be earlier. We don't know. And that's the thing about these walls, is that not enough research has been done to establish exactly what they were used for and exactly why they're here. What we do know about this wall is it's very long and it's very high, and it's also irregular. It's also got lots of mixtures of stones, and archaeologists have given it the once over. See, there's dressed stone here and there's undressed stone here. So it's all irregular shapes and sizes. It's all like a mixture. It's almost like they've just got loads of different stones together and put them on here. But archaeologists reckon that this was part of a lost building. So, or part of it was part of a lost building, and part of it was a bit of something else. Now it sort of like it sections off the Victoria pub, the old pub, and the long pull, and the beer garden section there. And you can see it varies in, it's not very straight. There's not a straight line here. So 1300s possibly. It could be even older, we don't know. But it needs protecting, and it needs scheduling as an ancient monument, just like all of these walls are. Now you see it changes here, which could be the sign of a building being here, an ancient building, and it's the only bit that's left, far older than the church. And we walk past these every day and mostly don't take much credence to them. We see they're just old walls, aren't they? But because we don't know enough about them, means that we, in some ways, they become commonplace and we only notice them when they're gone. So I hope that they don't go, and I hope we can actually get some research done on these walls, and let's find out what they are and why they're here. So this wall goes around here, sweeps around. Again, it changes here. This looks like possibly some kind of doorway. It's got a lintel at the top there, sandstone lintel, and it comes down here. It's been brick infilled at a later date, and these have been put in. I don't know whether that was a step, whether there was a step here or something going into a building, but it curves around slightly. And also there's a kind of a ledge here that indicates some kind of window being up there, or a doorway even. I don't know, you can't tell, but there's something obviously going on with this end of the wall, and it curves round in a nice curve going round here. So it's nicely pointed at the top, and this finishes here. So this could be a gateway into a big house or something, and it goes down here, which is just magnificent. It goes down here, but then it goes in and it comes down here again, which is quite amazing. A mixture of red and yellow sandstone and pale yellow sandstone, and it ends about here. It ends about here. Lots of mixtures of bricks. Why is it here? Why was it built? Who owned it? And when was it built? Can we get some carbon dating on it, or some archaeology that can establish a date when this was actually put here? We don't know, but it needs some attention. These walls have never got any attention, virtually. So you can see bits of it here, so it could have carried on further down there. I think they're totally fascinating, these walls, and they've always fascinated me. If you've got any ideas about this, or if you found out something that I haven't, then perhaps you could leave a comment in this video. Now, I'm going to take you to a place that is possibly older. What's the copyright music on there? And it's possibly older than all of these walls put together. So we're going to go and see that, and that's where I'm going to finish the vlog. So it's not a circular walk, it's just a walk down to the next point. So let's go.
That disarm Prescot breathes with life anew. Every corner has a view.
It's all kicking off in Prescot. Right, we've been down here before on a previous vlog. I'm going to take you down here, down Poorhouse Went, and we'll go on to our next destination. These cobbles are very old here. Probably 1600s, 17th century, this passageway. So, this area here has been plastered up now, but I've got an old photograph of this wall which shows lots of things going on here. Underneath this, it's really interesting, but you can't see it now because it's been plastered up as part of this housing development. But it shows lots of different periods in the development of this area, Poorhouse Went. It's a shame we can't see it, but we know it's there. So as long as nobody knocks down these buildings, then it'll still be there in 100 years' time. Let's go. Look at this old drain cover. PUDC. Tell me what that means. PUDC. I'll leave that one with you. Okay, let's go. Now, this area needs a bit of TLC, but this wall here is known as the Northern Boundary Wall. And it's said to date from the 12th century. In fact, in 1978, when archaeologists looked at this wall, they thought it could be the oldest wall or structure in Prescot, this wall. It also continues on this side. You can see it over here. Bits of it remain just under here. The ancient boundary wall, northern boundary of Prescot. And when I was growing up in Prescot and I'd come down here, I would think of this area as being a walled town. I grew up thinking of Prescot must have been a walled town because it's got these magnificent walls going around. Much of this is obscured by ivy and stuff at the moment, which is not good for the walls, I must say. It could undermine the structure of the wall. So this wall, the Northern Boundary Wall, and it actually extends down there, which we can't see from this point because it's all flooded here. So let's go over here. But you can see it from over here. If you look over the wall there, you can see that there. Okay, I've just taken Uncle Peter up, and as you will see on the footage, the wall extends in a U shape, an L shape around the corner, going that way. And it's I'll give you some statistics on this northern boundary wall, which is said to date from the 12th century. Now, whether it does or not, we still need more research. But that would make it a lot older than St Mary's Church. This structure goes along that way, and the total length is 426.5 feet long. That's 130 metres in length, and it's about 11'5" high. Most of the wall is made of pale yellow sandstone, so that indicates that it's all from the similar quarry. Similar quarry, sandstone quarry. Now, there are a number of sandstone quarries around, ancient sandstone quarries around Prescot. There's one at the end of Sewell Street, and there's a few others that I know of around here. So it could be that the different quarries produce different qualities of sandstone and different colours as well. So if you know anything about the geology of Prescot, you know it stands on a sandstone ridge, which formed once a part of a beach in the Pacific, close to the equator. Prescot. This was once a sandy beach close to the equator, possibly at the time of the dinosaurs or earlier than that, millions of years ago. So that's where the sandstone comes from. With the tectonic plates, we've moved more north now, and so yeah. When we get a sunny day, we think we're in the Bahamas, but most of the time we're in the Arctic, aren't we? Even in the middle of summer. So just dwell on that fact, is that we once were part of a lovely beach near the equator, Cape Verde or something like that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to end it here. There are lots more of these walls around Prescot. I can name about half a dozen walls that I know of that have been demolished since I was a child, including Beaconsfield Street School, which there's an ancient wall running along there. And my old house on Kemble Street, there was an ancient wall running along there. We didn't know anything about it when we were kids in the 1960s. They were just walls to us, but it's only with the advent of time and knowing that things, on hindsight, they could have been preserved, but in the past there was a big movement to knock everything down. Old walls, well, they were just old walls, weren't they? We've got them here. We've got the Great Walls of Prescot, and we should be preserving them, making a feature of them, making walks around them, and getting more knowledge about what they were there for and how old they are, and stuff like that. So hopefully this vlog is the start of us thinking about things that are around us, and just taking the ordinary and perhaps looking at it in a different way, and maybe we can discover more about the history of Prescot. It's not all about what is the obvious, right? It's not all about the bleeding obvious. It's about things that we take for granted. They can tell us so much about history, and if we keep asking questions, it'll be great, won't it? So thanks for Uncle Peter for going up and having a look over that wall, because we couldn't see it. So thanks for that, and I hope to see you in the next vlog. Thanks for Catherine, the camera woman, who's holding the camera with one hand, with a terrible bad shoulder, which that's got a story in itself. Buys a coffee. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, please do. If you click the bell icon for notifications of new videos coming up all the time, that would be great. Leave a comment, share our page on your social media. We are very close now to being monetized, and give us a like. And we're very, the camera woman's telling me what to do. I don't.
Like and subscribe.
There you see. Oh, right, okay, like and subscribe. I've already told them that.
You didn't.
I did. I did.
No, you didn't.
So it said like and subscribe, didn't I?
No.
I did. You tell me at home. Tell me. Anyway,
Put it in the comments below.
listen to that. Director. It's Alfred Hitchcock behind the scenes. It's a horror, I'm telling you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you again in the next vlog. Born and raised in Prescot. Idle afternoon, Wednesday. Let's go. Weatherspoons. See you soon. Bye.
Went to Prescot on a whim, on a Wednesday in the dim. Idle thoughts ran through my mind, seeking something undefined. Forgive me for this wandering, lost in thoughts, just pondering. Idle days and idle ways, on a Wednesday in a haze. Saw the town as shadows play, fit the mood that I portray. Moments blend and drift away, Wednesday dreams in disarray. God forgive this humble soul, searching for some sort of goal. Forgive me for this wandering, lost in thoughts, just pondering. Idle days and idle ways, on a Wednesday in a haze. Saw the town as shadows play, fit the mood that I portray. Wednesday dreams in disarray, disarray, disarray. God forgive this humble soul, searching for some sort of goal.